This is, Krer here, speaking. I'm all alone this time. And you can see I'm a little disheveled about it. I don't even have my fucking... I forgot to put my articles up on here so I could actually read them if need be. Oh, Jiminy Crickets. I definitely should have spent the 30 minutes setting up before all this, but, you know, c'est la vie. So give me 5 minutes and I will be ready to do all this. Okay, first article of the day is going to be involving a man and his repurposed wedding. Don't grab the counter, grab the article. I said grab the article. User error, folks. Alright. So, this one's about a couple who's had their wedding day partially ruined by COVID-19. But they made the best of the situation, despite, you know, not being able to have a full wedding. What they mainly did is they refunded the venue that they had lined up, but they didn't refund the food that was designated for it. Instead, they took it to, if I can read up in here, I read the articles beforehand, but I have the attention span of a gnat, so... Okay, they contacted Laura's Home, a non-profit that feeds and houses homeless women and children in Cleveland. You guys got a good enough look at the photo. And they asked for permission to donate the prepared food. Nina Brown, who owns Betty's, which is the restaurant that they requested all the food from, then worked directly with the kitchen manager at Laura's Home to figure out how best to serve the food on her menu in the cafeteria-style kitchen. They got it all arranged to, you know, shorten this. They got it all arranged to set it all up. They had recently had to change law rulings on assistants and volunteers because of COVID. And thankfully, when things were just about to get started for them, wedding-wise, is when they started finally being able to relax the whole no volunteers rulings. So, the groom and the bride, as seen in the photo, managed to sit down and actually help serve these people in need during their wedding. And they did it pretty much all the way throughout. Only once everybody was served did they take off their hairnet and mask and actually sit down to get to, well, they were getting to know people while they were serving, but really get to know them at the table. So they put other people before them, even in their best day. You know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. To be fair, if I were to ever have a wedding, which is unlikely, the thing about polyamory is you have to share, and to marry, you can only do it with one person, and that means the others are inferior, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm rambling. Point is, if I had to have a wedding, I wouldn't do the really fancy stuff anyways. I'd do something like this, or just a couple friends, a pastor I hired on the fly to consummate it, and then we just sit around and drink Mai Tais or something for about an hour before, say, we do. And bam, file the paperwork, we're done. Nothing fancy. I mean, okay, fancy a little bit because we're drinking Mai Tais, but that's about it. I am rambling, but that's the point of this show. I'm not supposed to go 100% on script. Alright, so yeah, basically, long story short, wedding ruined, sort of. They made different plans, though, and better plans. Hello, somebody made a noise. Okay. Caramel Pop. Thank you, Caramel Pop. I appreciate it greatly. Okay. So yeah, that, ramble. On to the next article. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. I can see it up on the board over here. And please do. I don't have a co-host today because my co-host, the original one, Nevi, got in a motorcycle accident, like with his new bike within 2 weeks of purchasing it. and he's kind of a little too casted up to do VR, so it's just me. I had a replacement lined in, but I forgot to teach him Neos. Anyways, next article. Which one do I want to do? Which one do I want to do? What do I want to do? Oh, I know. Let's look at corporations bitching at one another. Pull this out here. Compress. Stick it here. Ugh. Nope, right there. Let's see if I can get it all in shot. There we go. Alright, this one involves the scuffle between Apple and Epic. Yeah, they've been kind of fighting at one another lately because of corporate practices involving skimming money off of app stores and such. Honestly, I think both sides are bad, but it's fun to watch them squabble. Kind of like watching a nuclear bomb go off while, again, drinking a Mai Tai. Can you tell I like Mai Tais? Alright, so Phil Spencer tweeted out, "Today, we filed a statement in support of Epic's request to keep access to the Apple SDK for its Unreal Engine. Ensuring that Epic has access to the latest Apple technology is the right thing for gamer developers, that doesn't seem like lexically right. Gamer developers and gamers." And, you know, yada yada link, stuff like that. Scrunch. Apple is threatening an entire ecosystem of gaming developers right now. Because of the whole Fortnite lawsuit. Basically, Apple was skimming about 30% of its purchases through the system. For like V-Coins, V-Bucks, whatever you call them, for their own game. Mind you, with as much money that's going through, and I know corporations these days, switch the camera, dum-dum. As much money as it goes through, I honestly think 30% of like a gazillion purchases, well, that's technically a lot of money for Apple. That's also still a lot of money for Epic. But Epic's being a corporation that wants to get the most money, capitalism, they said no. And what they did is that in their mobile app, they decided to make their checkout screen have two options instead of just going straight to the enter card screen. You could either do it through the mobile and send 30% to Apple, or they take 30% off of the original price if you go directly to their website to finalize the transaction, so they escape the grip of Apple. Obviously, Apple wasn't too happy about this and threw a fit at Epic, stating if they didn't stop the shenanigans, they were going to pull Fortnite off their platform. Fortnite escalated and threw a public PR fit. And Apple, in turn, escalated and say, okay, fine. I see you're working towards the court on this one. Well, guess what? You don't drop the court? Epic is not going to be on Apple products anymore. No Unreal Engine, no nothing. And while I don't see Apple being a big competitor in gaming, it still has a crowd. So they could be losing a large chunk of their consumer base, not directly through sales of their games, but through engine sales. Because nobody will be able to develop for Apple products anymore. Because, well, Unreal would not be allowed to be used on Apple products. Yeah, that's a kind of a big scuffle. But yeah, this latest tweet is basically Microsoft stepping in and saying, yeah, these are bad practices. Apple needs to shove off. I honestly think it's just Microsoft looking for a time to dig at Apple, because Apple-Microsoft bickering is standard. Oh, God, I need a break. Nope. I'm blaming. Oh, off my hand. Thank you. Don't mind the visual error, folks. Neos is wonky. There you go. Yeah, but that's a short story. I haven't actually read a lot, if anything, directly from the article, this entire rant. But I think I pretty much covered. Yeah, okay, it was indeed a 30% fee. And they called it the Mega Drop deal when you decided to go through their system instead of the App Store. Ouch. Alright, that's that one. And just throw this in the garbage bin, quote unquote. Alright, where do we go next? Oh, we have actual statements on this Apple tobacco. Apple tobacco. Apple is nuts. Reminds me of when they didn't want customers to repair their own phones and laptops. They still don't. They go after companies that do repairs on their products, and they aren't licensed by Apple. They are a forced obsolescence company. Print out products as fast as you can, make surfacing it as expensive, if not more so, than just buying a new product. And they'll just keep buying the product because, well, okay, I'm used to this format. I can't get this one fixed, so I'll just buy a new one. And it's bull crap, in my opinion. But capitalism again. This is supposed to be a positive show. I shouldn't be complaining about how finances work and how everything's all falling apart. Anyways, let's go on to the next one. This one is about, if I get everything lined up here, this would be so much more faster with a co-host. But my co-host had to go and get himself in a frickin' bicycle wreck. I'm grilling him over it because I prophesized that he was going to crash at some point within the next month of his purchase because he just kind of seemed like an individual. Let's size this down a bit. That's through the table. Alright. I'm gonna have to read this directly from the top here. A Boulder teenager now holds the Guinness Boulder, Colorado teenager now holds the Guinness World Record for the fastest time solving a Rubik's Cube on a pogo stick. 14-year-old Evan Bletcher recorded a time of 16.7 seconds to set the new world record. Yeah, this kid is solving Rubik's Cube on pogo sticks, but it gets better. He's doing it for COVID. He has decided, I have this really cool skill of knowing how to essentially write a formula to solve a Rubik's Cube in my head really, really fast. So why don't I solve two problems in one go? I could solve boredom for children and raise money for COVID charities. So he now hosts online classes called, if I can dig this up, Cubing Away Corona. There we go. Sorry that took a bit. Basically, it's a free class over the internet for children to take that teaches them basic problem solving with a Rubik's Cube. You know, you see this pattern, you do this motion, you solve it that way, sort of stuff. And he's not charging it at all, but he is actively taking donations for, if I remember, under 3 minutes. The program is free, but donations are welcomed on behalf of the CDC Foundation and No Kid Hungry. So he's feeding people and feeding the CDC, Center for Disease Control. Honestly, I think this is a great thing. He's like, what, 14? Yeah, 14-year-olds. That's my brother's age, and he's out there helping children, A, not drive their parents mad, and B, helping to contribute to COVID relief. And I suppose relief in general, since it's Feed the Children Fund, but in this time and age, it's probably feeding those who have lost jobs due to the COVID. Honestly, I wish I had that kind of skill. The best I can do is being a fat fuck. Well, also putting on a decent show too and being personable, but you'd think with the autism that wouldn't really work, but digital age helps a lot. And I'm talking to myself, technically. So, yeah. Maybe I should try and set my brother on that, and maybe toss the kid a few dollars myself to pay for the class. I don't know. I wonder if my brother is into Rubik's Cubes. He's more into coding. But he might. I mean, coding in Rubik's Cubes can be equivalently problematic sometimes. But unfortunately, like Rubik's Cube, you can't just dismantle code and just put it back together the way you see it and have it function. I remember as a kid smashing my Rubik's Cube. Anyways, that is yet another article in the bin. I'm sorry if I'm being expedient. I did waste a lot of time setting it up that I should have been reading articles, and we are currently 31 minutes into the episode. And we have 3 more articles, so we're technically on time. After the hour is up, we're going to transition out of here, and I'm going to spend maybe an hour or 2 communing with Neos's community, who are actively online over in, if I switch the camera over here, that little round table over there with all the little orbs. Those are the local worlds running right now with local people. Well, local as in they're in the system. But yeah, once we're all done with these articles, we'll go ahead and go there. Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Houston, we're missing an article. Oh no! Where are you? Oh, blimey. Okay, where are you? Okay, we're just gonna have to re-import it, I guess. I'll clean it up in the zone later. Hey, thank you, Neos, for drag and drop system. All right, this one, I think at this point we're starting to transition into. No, we did one new tech article apparently. Yeah, okay, it was an Apple. So this one is about a new technology coming out in Japan and being put in use. At least I think it's Japan. Japan? Yeah, subways. China. Because Beijing and Shenzhen. I stand corrected. So messy. So messy. Flap it on the countertop, move the camera over. The cat are wonky, but it works. Hell, it actually looks like a Dutch angle. Anyways, LG has developed a transparent OLED display for subways, and they're launching first in Beijing and Shenzhen. The company's 55-inch displays can show schedules, locations, transfers, and other real-time information. They'll serve as the train windows, and they'll also be used for entertainment purposes, as you'll be able to see the news on them. Even flights and news data can be shown. Honestly, imagine watching Nicktoons on that thing while you're driving. There's just a audio jack on the wall. You plug in your headphones and you watch the window. The see-through displays are coming to Line 6 in Beijing and Line 10 in Shenzhen. LG is working with railroad companies to bring in the innovative OLEDs to other lines. There you quote, transparent OLEDs are gaining interest not only from mobility customers in the areas of self-driving cars, airplanes, and subways, but also from sectors such as smart home and smart building industries, said LG in a press release. As OLEDs are self-emitting with no need of backlights, they are able to produce a maximized transparency rate. Basically, they don't have to muddle what's behind it to make this thing show, so they can reach a 50-50 visibility on both what's behind it and what it's supposed to be showing. LG isn't the first company to come up with transparent OLEDs, though. We've seen this sort of tech demonstrated on CES and IFA. I wonder if this is... Oh, it does show on the camera. Well, no. Too bad it's not one-sided. Whose floors for at least CES and IFA show floors for at least 8 years now. Samsung was among the first to market the technology. Excuse me, I have a reading impediment, I swear. While Chinese words. Xiaomi, I am probably butchering that, but whatever, is among the latest with its $7,200 transparent TV. I could make an adult joke with that involving a mirror, but no, it's not. The application of transparent displays will become more diverse, said Dr. Chang Ho. Wait, Chang Ho Ho. No. Chang Ho. Oh. No, literally, the last word in his name is O-H. A senior vice president at LG Display. He said his company aims to supply products to a wide range of industries in line with its vision as the leading display solution provider. Yeah, so, long story short, shiny screen with transparent background to use for informative displays like spreadsheets or something. It's like a projector without projecting, I guess. That, and it works on a clear surface, a clear, transparent surface. No, fuck it. It's stuck in my head, and I'm not really going for PG-13. It's M for mature. I mean, if you have a fascination with yourself, but want to... yeah, compare it with a camera, a mirror, and all that. You could make essentially a carnival mirror to show the difference between you and what it would predict. Yeah, those little screen filters of, like, if you were 65, now imagine that for a mirror. There you go. This could also prompt, if you've seen some of the everything's virtual when you're talking about games, most of the time. In those games where they're mid to late future and every bathroom mirror has displays and like news articles and advertising while you're trying to wash your face or something. Yeah, that's the future, baby. You're gonna be sold ads while in the bathroom. Just wait until everybody has a cyber implant in their head, like me, and they just get freaking adware in their eyeballs. Yeah, how many times a week I have to run my adware cleaner just so I can see my morning coffee? To be fair, I probably shouldn't be browsing such risque sites, but a Protogen has to do what a Protogen does. God, I can't believe let's just not get into the weird disconnect from reality I just had there, and move on to the next article. Where did I toss this one? Okay, there. What's this one? Oh, yes! Here's a very heartwarming story. I need to work on shrinky-dinking this one. To put that there. Put that on the counter. Cycle the camera. All right. So this one is about someone in Nashville, Tennessee. This is about a woman named Vandal, oddly enough. After she posted a job fair flyer at the store, Kroger's hiring manager, Jackie Vandal... Oh, wait, what? No, I got the wrong name. Jackie Vandal heard from one of the regular customers every day. Will you all hire me? You got room for me? Vandal didn't know the persistent woman's name, only recognized her face, but Vandal got good vibes from her. You'll get a feel if someone's sincere, or if they're just trying to get a job to say they got one, and then quit a month later, Vandal said. She was very sincere. On the day of the job fair in January, the woman was among the first applicants. Her name was Lashenda Williams. Lashenda Williams, who had been living in her car in this Inglewood Kroger parking lot, now works inside the store in Nashville, Tennessee. She told Vandal a powerful story about how drug addiction, abuse, and abandonment led to her living out of her own car and sleep in the parking lot right outside the door. Vandal asked whether she'd applied online because Vandal really couldn't consider Williams for a job until she did. Williams walked out to her car, grabbed a dusty old laptop, and asked Vandal if she had a power cord and a place to plug it in. For the next 2 hours, William pounded away on her laptop keyboard while Vandal came by in between interviews to help. As soon as the "you have successfully applied" message popped up, Vandal told the woman she was hired. She immediately burst into tears and fell into Vandal's arms. Inglewood Kroger assistant store manager Jackie Vandal gives her a nice meaty hug because she was living in the store parking lot and now she finally had a frickin' job. As of today, she now has her own apartment and has worked at the store for 8 months. Vandal, surprised at first, hugged her and said, "Don't worry about anything. I'm going to work you to death and we'll take care of you." I might have accidentally realized the reason why the wording is incorrect here is it may have copied hover text since I just wholesale copied the article. Oops. Williams told her she would show up and work hard. Promises kept. 8 months later, Williams, 46, comes up in an upbeat most every weekday to the self-checkout. "Don't let anybody steal your joy," she tells fellow employees and customers. "It's gonna be a great day." After a few months, Williams earned enough money to go get her own apartment, and a customer helped her find one. Another customer, VL Williams, rallied Nashvillians on Facebook to caramba, what the hell happened? Donate furniture, decorations, and clothes for her. "Don't let anyone steal your..." Yeah, I did copy. My bad. "Don't let anyone steal your joy," Lashenda Williams tells Kroger customers in Nashville, Tennessee. With that kind of support, Williams said it'd be easy to be enthusiastic about work. "I was sleeping in a parking lot and looking for something to eat," she said. "Now all my babies here love on me." Such weird wording. "No one abuses me and no one calls me dumb and stupid. For the first time in my life, I finally got peace." Speech impediments are the worst. Alright, so my comments on this is simple. As much of a good story as this is, it unfortunately can't happen with everyone. Not everyone is going to be able to perfectly line up and suddenly get off their feet. This is a positive news podcast, but sometimes I gotta throw some realism in here. We kind of have to help some of these people because they can't just up and get all this done on their own or with just the help of one person. They need help from multiples. Excuse me. That was disgusting. And even then, some people just can't bounce back because they're too traumatized or they are just too broken from their events. That and the upfront cost it takes. It's expensive to be poor in a capitalist society. If you are poor and homeless, nobody's going to hire you because you look like shit because you can't tend to yourself. It's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. So people who are already well off need to step in and bring these people up. Problem is, not everybody's willing to do that because sometimes people are assholes. And assholes usually get sat on by me. But yeah, honestly, if more people were willing to do like that store manager did, things wouldn't be so bad. Now, recognize, not everyone is worth saving in the sense that if you try to save them, they will wreck your life more, or just not do anything with the help that you've given them. There's an argument that's out there stating we have lots of empty housing now because, well, COVID. Nobody can travel, so all the hotels are empty. So propositions were to give the homeless hotel rooms for free while COVID's going on. This gets them off of the street and off from, being so close together in camps. Only problem is there's arguments put up saying that the destitute will not take care of the property. They will instead thrash it, tear it to shreds, and then probably migrate elsewhere. And there is a reasoning behind that, in my opinion. They destroy things because they have no control in life. They have nothing to hold on to. They have nothing to cherish. Everything was taken away from them from repo men or God knows what else. They only have themselves and the world around them. So to prove that they have control, they destroy what they can reach. By changing something in front of them, even for the worst, it shows I still have control of something. I'm not totally useless. Basically, it's mismanaged emotional energy that leads to destructive behaviors. If you can get them past that, they're fine. Fine, totally. But it's the lack of control that they have, forcing them to do stupid things that paints them as impossible to manage, meaning nobody will step up to help them, which means they have lack of control of anything. It's a cycle that I really wish didn't exist, but who knows? Maybe altruism might hit a fad, just like how the 80s were, I think the 80s were for hippies. Alright, enough rambling about that. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's the Kroger one. We have one final news article. And it's not COVID related and not rant related either. Alright. Get this off, get this up. I'm getting better at this, boys. Alright, so this one's about a contest made by the Pentagon's Mad Scientist Unit. It's called the Air Combat Evolution Program. Basically, they get a bunch of nerds to make a bunch of AI, and then they put it against real pilots to see who's the better person in a dogfight. In this day and age, dogfights aren't a real common thing because of how technology has just advanced to revolutionize air warfare. But it's still fun to see that they're doing something interesting with old rules. We've already seen AI conquer Masters of Chess, Go, and StarCraft 2, but could it defeat an Air Force pilot in a virtual dogfight? DARPA has spent the last year trying to answer that question through an aerial warfare contest called Alpha Dogfight Trials. What? Oh, okay. I guess that's the name of the contest. The program's name is Air Combat Evolution. This is a problem with speed reading, folks. The Pentagon's Mad Scientist Unit created the competition to assess how AI could assist pilots and attract developers to its Air Combat Evolution program. But before the algorithms could enter the cockpit, they had to earn the trust of their human comrades. Warfighters trust things that work, and this is a contest, and this contest is the first step along the road to trusting this new kind of autonomy, said ACE Program Manager Colonial Dan Animal Javorsk. Javorsek. There we go. 8 teams duked it out in the initial tournament, which was won by an algorithm developed by Heron Systems. The Maryland-based company guided its jet with deep reinforcement learning, which helps AI improve its decisions by testing out different approaches and learning from its mistakes. Yesterday, Heron faced its final challenge. a best-of-5 aerial duel against an Air Force F-16 pilot known as Banger. I think this is going to be a real close fight, said co-commentator Justin Glockmock. Glockmock. What is up with the military and cheesy war names? Glockmock. Cannot believe. But his predictions soon looked doomed. The final dogfight. Heron quickly built up a 4-0 lead. Gunned down 4 times, but somehow still alive. Banger had no choice but to change up his game plan. The standard things that we do as a fighter pilot are not working. So for this last one, I'll try and change it up a little bit, just to see if we can do something different, he said. That initial turn is where I lose a lot of life. I've just got to look for the opportunities to minimize that distance separation away from the adversary. Try to get a back in so I can press inside or stay outside his nose area. This is gibberish to me. I don't know what the lick about dogfights or aircrafts or anything. Banger apparently pulled up to 9 Gs, 9 times the force of gravity, and hit speeds over 500 miles per hour. He then dropped the jet down to 1,300 feet, trying to drag Heron close to the ground. The plan seemed to be working. Heron couldn't get its gun low enough to shoot. But within a few seconds, the AI adapted. It was back on Banger's tail. Lead commentator Chris Desco called the action just inside of 30,000 feet. Looks like Heron saddling up, and with the kill. DARPA plans to translate the lessons from alpha dogfight trials to the real world, but don't expect AI to be shooting planes out of the sky anytime soon. In a simulation, a machine has perfect information, but that doesn't exist in a fog of war. As the animal put it, modeling and simulation is doomed to succeed. The AI could have been just latching onto some weird digital artifact that we weren't thinking about or considering, and that was giving them an advantage. There were certainly some peculiar behaviors in the engagement. In addition, the rules-based nature of dogfight is a good fit for AI. The contest was also staged on an outdated battlefield, as dogfights are far more common in movies than in real life these days. But if you can't wait till the Top Gun sequel for some aerial combat, you can catch a replay of the battles in, a video I don't have. So, yeah. Robots. We'll take over anything. Okay, I suppose it could be a little bit argued that I'm not entirely robot, but... Have you ever seen a robot devour a buffet? No, you haven't. There's gotta be some sort of organic matter. Anyways. Look at me being a chunky bastard and being a giggle about it. Trying to think for words for this one. Because, yeah, I don't know a lot about aeronautics, but I'm actually kind of cool with this. Gives a programmer something to do and maybe even a job in a military field. And those kind of pay big bucks. Mind you, it seems like a lot of participants were already big companies, so they may not change jobs, but in a way they're helping the nation defend itself. And my stance is, it's always good to have innovations in defense. Well, that's pretty much all the articles I have today. We are, wow, just 5 minutes shy of the end of the show, or at least 5 minutes before it's been an hour since I've been in VR. But pretty much I'm done on the spot. If you guys have any questions, go right on ahead. The one person who's actually, talking. And you win some and you lose some. This goes on the video logs too, and then I outsource it to my friend Coppercap to put on Omega Republic's YouTube channel, so they can be watched at any time. I do not know the recovery time for Nebby. He hasn't been informed a lot, and he's kind of tight on funds. His car crash involved only him. And it was, I think his bike was in the process of getting licensed, or he had some sort of minor oopsie that wasn't from the crash, but it was something he should have gotten done. So he might be charged a bit, but he's not going to be like paying insurance fees for someone else. So money is a bit of a problem. Time is a bit of a problem for him. But until then, I have Manic Nux as a stand-in. The only reason he wasn't in here today is because I've been wrapped up in being depressed and in other projects, and I never got the chance to introduce him to Neos VR. Because of that, he wasn't here with me. Sure, I could have given him a crash course, but, you know, I actually kind of wanted to look at this as a trial by fire to see if I could do it by myself. And it seems like I can. I wig myself out too much before the event, and I keep downplaying myself. Which is why you see me huffing and stopping and focusing again. I'm on the autism spectrum. This is all very hard for me, so I adapt. Also, what inspired you to do this? Because I'm really good at this. There's me downplaying myself again. I don't see myself very good at this. I guess I just go with the flow. I've been with Omega Republic for 5 to 7 years, and I was part of a podcast under their family branch called In the Spotlight. I don't remember exactly how I got hired for that position. I just know I was seasonal co-host, then moved to full co-host, and these days, well, honestly, I'm sort of IT tech support for them, for Discord. I mostly run their Discord channel. And actually, if you were ever to get into Neos, there's actually a link there. There's also a link on my Twitch page if you scroll down to go to the Discord channel for the Omega Republic. Yeah, I got into it because I had prior experience. About a year or two ago, projects just didn't happen. Nobody was putting anything out, and I kind of got fed up with it. So I said, fuck it. I'm going to have my own show with blackjack and hookers. Well, actually, no blackjack or hookers, but I have booze. That's something. The crew was really surprised by my first episode. I put a insurmountable amount of effort making the stage. Like, I sat down for an entire week. Mind you, the bar setup, just the bar, anything outside of bar props, is pretty much my doing. But the bar is something I downloaded that was already in the world listings for Neos, and I just repurposed it. But yeah, I set up these chats for me and my co-host. I've got a user log. I don't think I remembered to make this world live in public. This is just for the private session. Normally I do that so that way guests can come in and watch me do this live in virtual reality. Because, yeah, I don't know. Furries are weird. And furries are typically rich enough to have a VR headset. Neos is actually full of furries. I swear, there's like a 5-to-1 ratio of furries to normal individuals. But that's probably because the dude who owns the company that made this product is a furry. The CEO is a furry. Yeah. So to get back on the track of why I did this, it's basically because my podcast crew was in a lull of projects. Nobody wanted to step up and do anything. So I said, fine, it's my turn. That's the fun thing about being obstinate and crabby and otherwise complaining. I just get things done. So yeah, at this point we would be transitioning to just exploring Neos and seeing who's out there, and watching as my social anxiety with strangers picks up and I suddenly can't speak a word straight. And you can stick around if you want, but I'm totally cool with Yeah, you dipping out. The show's pretty much over at this point. I have 3 means of reading chat. I've got to overlay this and this. I don't know why, but I do. I'm really happy you took the initiative to do so because I enjoy your show and it's something that's quite nice to watch while I have a snack. You should have shared, you know. You know, this is not easy to maintain. Yeah. I own up to my stage persona a little bit, but I am not that horrible. Anyways, yeah, I'm probably going to take a 5 to 10 minute break, trying to cool down because right now it's like, hold on, is my Google Home even active right now? Yes, it is. Okay. Okay, Google. What's the current temperature outside right now?
The temperature in Four Corners right now is 88 degrees.
It's 88 degrees. So, you know, thank you, Google. Okay, it must have... Usually when I say thank you, it says you're welcome. But yeah, it's 88 degrees and I don't have an air conditioner in my room. And all this flailing and gesturing about and fiddling with the cameras and getting anxious and all that kind of stuff. It's gonna be... Yeah, let's just say I'm melting like a popsicle here. So yeah, give me 5 to 10 minutes and we will transition to just moseying about for an hour or so. Alright, well, if you're still here, you're still here. If not, oh well. Let's go ahead and transition.